shown that foreign conquerors would be defeated and so on. But you also, in order to defeat foreign conquerors, you also need to do quite heavy efforts. Do you see these efforts today in Egypt?
I see much of it. But I am not from the kind of person who wants everything or nothing. I am satisfied with what is done, and I want more, of course.
But it is also, I think, a fact that the revolutionary progress has suffered from these constant wars. And, well, there is a need to do much more to develop Egypt.
Yes, but, you know, if we didn't have revolutionary progress efforts, maybe we wouldn't have had this war. Because it is very obvious and clear that the Americans, let us call them by their names, America doesn't like very much revolutionary regimes. And it likes to develop, if we can call it like that, Egypt in her own means. She wants to send us refrigerators, consumptive goods, chewing gum, and so on. But she doesn't want to send us factories or arms to defend ourselves or anything which is, that we can depend on ourselves with, or anything that you can call independent and productive and progressive. So having such persons like Nasser and all these people who are rebellious against America, America doesn't like that. So this is the main cause of our constant being beaten and struck by Israel. And maybe there is the same thing at the same time happening. So we really are suffering in our program of progress. But maybe if we gave up thinking of progress, this would be the best thing for us to be loved by America.
Yeah, but I'm not thinking of giving up progress, but I'm thinking some critics say that you should concentrate more upon progress and then try to get the...
Please, Mr. Sibyl. Please, Mr. Sibyl.
Sorry, I will repeat the question.
Please.
I'm not thinking... I'm not thinking that you should give up progress, but I'm thinking of those critics who say you should concentrate more on creating progress in Egypt and get this conflict with Israel solved.
What kind of critics are those critics?
Well, there have been a lot of such criticism in foreign press, for instance, and you may also have heard by some persons in Egypt. I couldn't tell the names, of course.
What I know is that criticism is built on a theory, and not all theories are alike. If I criticize a book with the background of the art for art's sake theory, I will criticize it in a way. And if I have socialist realism in my head, I'll criticize it otherwise. So to be criticized is also exposing the critic.
Yes, but do you think that the people of Egypt has a morale to live in this situation for an indefinite period?
It is not indefinite. It is not indefinite.
How is it definite then?
I say that it is not definite and it is not indefinite. I don't think that history, the periods of history, can go more than 20, 30 years.
No, but I'm thinking right now the president in his speeches are stressing that there are some opponents, right wing or left wing, and he says that the United States and others have launched a psychological campaign which aim is to undermine the reliability of the policy of Egypt.
Well, of course, he has to resist any weapon of the enemy, and he has to say that every day. It is his work, as it is my work to make cartoons every day.
Yes, but it's not only foreign circles he's blaming, he's also blaming circles within Egypt, right wing and left wing.
Of course, because to have the right line means that you have two wrong other lines.
Yes.
To have the correct line means that you have one side from this side which is wrong and the other is wrong, and there is the correct side, and you have to show that by criticizing both wrong sides and to preach your own line.
Yes, but I'm still thinking that you could take his speeches as indication that there are unrest and criticism heard in the Egyptian society.
No. What he means is that the Egyptian people are not statues. You see, statues are only in the museum and in the temples and so on. But the Egyptians are people, so you see different points of views between them.
How do you, as an artist, because you're not only a cartoonist, you're also a poet and composer and so on, many things, how do you see your role in a society like the Egyptian to follow and support the policy of the government, or take up an individual attitude?
No, I have to take up an individual attitude, of course. But this individual attitude is not necessarily against what the government can say.
No, not necessarily.
Not necessarily,
but it could
of
be.
course. It could be with and it could be against. It could be with in some aspects and it could be against in other aspects.
But what would you propagate for, being the artist you are? You must have some aims and an attitude to life and so on. What are you in fact propagating for?
Of course, I am propagating progress in itself. And I am with the government as long as it is doing that. And as you said before, if America and the enemies are hampering our program of progress, I am against them, first of all because of this. And this is what I mean. And I think that underdevelopment is a very sad thing, which you should fight against. And if you are fighting against underdevelopment, it means that you are fighting also against Israel, because Israel exists in this way because we are underdeveloped. If we were developed countries, they would have never started such a policy or went like that. There is a gap here, there is a vacuum here, and they are filling it. So they are one of the, what do you call it, phenomena of our underdevelopment.
But would you say you have free, or would you say you have means of free expression of your own opinions?
Well, I don't want to be a propaganda person and say that in our country we are free to say everything. But I tell you that the government is not the only element which is censoring some things. Sometimes I censor myself. Sometimes religious groups are censoring me. Sometimes I am afraid to say something lest my wife should read it. You see? Sometimes I feel I want to write something, and then I say, if my wife reads this, she will think that I have a relationship with a girl or something, and I stop it. Of course. So nobody is completely free.
No, but you also mentioned that the government does not allow total freedom of expression. Do you agree with that policy?
I don't agree, of course. And actually, I myself, I hate all forms of governance. Between me and myself, I dream of a governmentless society. You see, by the way, I hate the Danish government, and I hate the British government and the Soviet government. All governments I don't like. But they are something necessary, after all. What you call a necessary evil. And no government is giving you total liberty. For example, in some countries, you can't go naked in the street, you see? Whilst I myself, I like nakedness very much. If I had a good body, I would have preferred to go naked in the street.
Yeah, but I'm thinking more of political expression, because, well, it has been said even by Egyptians that the former governments and maybe the present governments have committed some mistakes. Do you think they could have been corrected if you had free political expression? I'm thinking of self-criticism, you may call it.
Yes, yes. And it was expressed in different ways, really. Not everything, but many of it was expressed. And I want to say something, that the handicaps in the government are handicaps because this government is Egyptian, and because we are all as Egyptians not progressed enough, advanced enough, and these are Egyptians too. If any one of the people who were criticizing were in the same position as governing people, maybe he would have made the same mistake.
Yes, I see your point.
And just start when I wave to you.
طيب أنا هقول لك يلا يا أبو السيد. ها؟ نبتدي يعني.
طيب هنقول شنو من الاثنين ولا كلها؟
هنقول كوبليه واحد.
كوبليه واحد الاولاني ولا الاخراني؟
الأولاني.
طيب يعني مثلا هقول مذهب وبعدين نبقى نقوله سوا وبعدين
أيوة.
كوبليه واحد؟ طيب نستبعد السيجاره دي والقهوه دي؟
لا خليها طبعا. احنا هنقول صدقت بقى انت وهو وبعدين نفوق بقى والنبي ما نصحش.
طيب خلاص. طيب طب اسمع، تيجي نقفل قفلتنا برضه في نهايه المذهب ده. اللي هو
ممكن
بس. طب انت قول لي بقى ابتدي.
يلا يا مسيح.
صدقتي بقى ابن انت وهو ان العبارة ماشية كده هو. صدقتي بقى ابن انت وهو ان العبارة ماشية